It's the 21st of August, and this is your News Bite, brought to you by eNCA.com. I'm Gareth Edwards, and in your news today, Khumalo and Mokwele are finally free. Police bust a drug lab in Musina, and things are not looking good for the DA's Mark Burke. It's a sigh of relief for crime intelligence head Dumisani Khumalo and Brigadier Dineo Mokwele as they are finally off the hook. The corruption and fraud charges against them were withdrawn at the Pretoria Magistrates Court today. The pair had been facing charges stemming from an investigation they described as politically motivated and driven by former IDAC boss Andrea Johnson. National Director of Public Prosecutions Andy Motsepe ordered the charges withdrawn in July, while also directing that the case cannot be enrolled again without his approval. Khumalo says he's ready to put the entire matter behind him and get back to serving the people of South Africa.
I'm not sure how do I feel, but then one is ready to continue doing what is right and serving the people of South Africa the way we've been doing. The whole issue did not have any impact in terms of our commitment and our calling to serving the people of this country.
Mokwele says she's also ready to turn the page and move forward.
I'm overwhelmed with emotion today. I feel like today I can finally put this chapter behind me. The past several months have been among the most difficult.
Exactly.
I entered public service, with the belief that my skills and experience would contribute to nation building. And instead, I found myself being arrested, prosecuted, and portrayed in a manner that I maintain does not resonate with, is inconsistent with who I am and the life I have built. Being arrested, being prosecuted, and being driven to court behind a police van, is an experience I will not wish even upon my waist anymore. Watching my name become national news while I was still trying to understand what was happening was devastating.
A major drug manufacturing operation worth an estimated 600 million rand has been uncovered in Musina in Limpopo. 5 people have been arrested as police step up their crackdown on organised drug syndicates. The bust comes just months after another major drug laboratory was uncovered in Swartrugens in the northwest. 11 suspects, including Mexican nationals, were arrested during that May operation after an intelligence-driven raid uncovered a multi-million rand drug manufacturing facility. And things are getting rather uncomfortable for DA MP Mark Burke. Burke has been removed as the DA's finance spokesperson, while the ANC has now opened a criminal case against him and Castello, that is a company he is linked to. ANC Chief Whip Mdumiseni Ntuli says the allegations involve around 4 billion rand and are currently being investigated by the South African Reserve Bank.
We have successfully opened the case against the company called Castello, which, as we indicated earlier on, is a company that was opened by Mr. Beck, who's a member of parliament, the finance or treasurer of the Democratic Alliance, and a member of parliament here in the National Assembly. The reason why we're opening the case was because, as you may be aware, that company was significantly cited on the court judgment, which was handed down by the Gauteng High Court, in which the affidavit that had been submitted by the surveillance intelligence investigator of the South African Reserve Bank had pointed out that the company was involved in the commission of crime of defrauding our foreign exchange control regulations, of engaging itself in a way that undermines our National Credit Act and causing fraud and criminality in the course of his work. So we took a decision that we need to open the case, and we have successfully done that now with the police. We are hoping that the police are going to immediately investigate this matter and get the people who are accused brought before books so that they can answer for their own deeds.
Cats in a food storeroom, meat stored directly on the floor, and workers allegedly putting in 13-hour shifts without overtime pay. These are just some of the violations uncovered during a regulatory blitz across Johannesburg. Employment and Labour Minister Nimokosasana Meth And Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero led the multidisciplinary inspections targeting businesses across the city. At one establishment, inspectors found cats roaming inside a storeroom where food was being kept. Workers also raised concerns about excessive working hours and alleged non-compliance with the national minimum wage. Meth says businesses found breaking the rules will be issued with notices, while repeat offenders could face prosecution.
When we asked for the office, we could see that we are led to a place that is a bit awkward. So I found that there is no proper office. What they are using as an office is a strong room where they've got their safe and cameras and everything else. When we arrived, we were welcomed by two gentlemen who are workers here. They complained already that they work from 8 to 7 p.m., which is 13 hours, way above what is the standard in terms of the BCA. Again, when we just asked the manager how many employees does he have, he said 31, including management. And when we asked any foreign nationals, he said no, 100% is South Africans. So even the owner is from our country. The city of Johannesburg, the building development management official, was busy engaging and looking at the building plans, which then she had to leave a notice for the owner or the manager to forward those to the institution, which is the city of Johannesburg, to see if there is proper plans that are in place. Are there no alterations that were done? If they were done, was there permission from the city of Johannesburg or not? So far, so good.
The SIU says it has referred almost 6,000 cases to the prosecuting authorities since 2011. But here's the catch. Only around 10% have been translated into registered criminal dockets. The figures are raising concerns over the country's ability to take corruption investigations all the way from investigation to prosecution. The Special Investigating Unit is calling for stronger cooperation with the National Prosecuting Authority and the Hawks to address the bottlenecks. SIU spokesperson Selby Makgoto says the issue came under discussion during a joint presentation to Parliament on Tuesday. He says the three law enforcement agencies were able to compare notes and identify where cases were falling through the cracks.
When we presented in Parliament on Tuesday, we did indicate the correct amount that you are alluding to, which is 5,944 cases since 2011 that have been referred to the prosecuting authority. And it was very important and good to have that joint presentation and conversation with the legislature. Because it was to the effect that at least we were able to open up to each other, make comparative analysis, and able to identify areas of where there is no movement, areas of contrast. And indeed, we often refer 5,000 cases is quite a lot over the past 15 years. And the NPA and on its side, and more also the DPCI, were also giving us their challenges, which we appreciated, and will now have also agreed amongst ourselves. The three heads of the entities have actually immediately identified the need to have joint working teams that will meet on monthly basis to ensure that there is all clear focus, clear outlines, and as and when cases are, to look into the cases that are immediately available. We have got a memorandum of understanding that we are looking into. It has been there, but we just want to make sure that we put it in place for the three entities to regularly put in all these mechanisms. Because 5,000 to us is a lot, and 10% prosecutable obviously should be a concern also to us.
And globally, United States First Lady Melania Trump has made light of speculation surrounding her month-long absence from the public eye and the intense scrutiny around one of President Donald Trump's close aides. Melania and her 80-year-old husband held hands as they made their way from the Oval Office to the podium before the president took his place in the audience as she addressed the gathering. The event marked donations from IndyCar and Fox Corporation towards university scholarships ahead of an IndyCar race through the streets of Washington to celebrate America's 250th independence anniversary. But it was the spotlight firmly on Melania. The 56-year-old First Lady has not been seen in public since the FIFA World Cup final on July 19th. And in your sports, rugby's greatest rivalry is back, and there's already some heat ahead of the kickoff. New Zealand is unhappy with the Springboks, this after the All Blacks' disciplinary issues were publicly highlighted. The controversy follows comments from Bok assistant coach Felix Jones, who shared feedback from the Sharks, the Stormers and the Bulls after they recently faced New Zealand. Jones says the three South African franchises were unhappy with the All Blacks' conduct at the breakdown.
I think belief is a massive part of it. It's you're going to Ellis Park to play the Springboks. It's almost the Mecca, and but we're really excited by the challenge, and being here for 3 weeks, we've had good prep. So we know we're going to have to be at our best. We know we're going to have to be disciplined so we don't give them easy entry into our 22, and we're going to have to be really accurate. They've got an excellent team, haven't they? And certainly we expect a lot of aerial attack, and I think if we can diffuse that'll give us some opportunity to attack.
And still with rugby, the Springboks are heading into a tour unlike anything this current squad has experienced before. The last time a touring series took place was when the British and Irish Lions came to South Africa. But that was during the COVID pandemic, with bio bubbles, empty stadiums, and plenty of restrictions. This time, it's a completely different story. The crowds will be back, the atmosphere will be electric, and the Springboks are preparing for another fierce chapter in rugby's greatest rivalry.
Yeah, look, obviously, as Coach touched on it earlier on, it's a huge honour for us to be part of these match weeks and part of this tour. Obviously for us, we try and do our preparation as best as we can, and just try and enjoy each other's company. It's obviously, hard rugby, but also to find moments to enjoy each other's company off the field, and just try and de-stress. That's been what we've been trying to do this week, going out for team dinners and stuff. We obviously really focused on the game, and we want to win the first one.
Mamelodi Sundowns are hoping to ride the momentum of their historic CAF Champions League triumph as they shift their focus back to domestic football. Chairman Tlhopane Motsepe says the club is hungry for more silverware, with the MTN8 offering their first chance to add another trophy this weekend.
I think this is going to be a very exciting season in the league and many of the cups. At the moment, the beauty is that everything's still up for grabs for ourselves and a few of the other teams that are in the MTN8. That's where we're going to be playing this weekend against Golden Arrows at home. And it's another opportunity for us to take a step closer to trying our best to secure the first cup of the season. But I think it's also important to say, we're so grateful and proud that we managed to finally win the Champions League for the second time. And I think that's given the club and the players a renewed sense of confidence and commitment to do even better. Our motto this season is to never stop rising. And so I think in the cups, but also in the stadium, in the stands, we want to see our supporters take Sundowns to the next level. And that's what we hope to achieve.
And that's how we wrap up today's News Bite. For developments on these and more, keep an eye on eNCA.com and DSTV channel 403.